Hello, everyone. What I'm going to do for this one is based off of the email telling everyone about this. I created a list of user questions, and then if you guys have other questions after I get through a couple of these guys, type them into the group chat or as you go, and I will answer those as we go. It's just a little bit more cohesive and easy to learn. And as always, please have patience with me when it comes to the tech stuff on this. It's always fun. I'll show you what this setup looks like in a minute when I show you guys how to do some stuff on the mobile app and I take a picture. I've got so many cords. Cool. I guess I haven't even said this yet. Hi, I'm Casey. I head up our tech support division here at Spectora. Okay, first thing on the list, fixtures. We're going to click into a report. So we are looking at my Johnny test account. This is where I test little things or show people how to do things. In this today box, you are going to see that you can click on an inspection scheduled for today. So I'm going to click into that. And forgive the little bit of lag time. It's not usual. The software is pretty fast, depending on your internet connection, of course. When I'm screen sharing and have myself in a video in the corner, things slow down a little bit. If it gets a little annoying, I'll just turn my face off for a little while and get some stuff done with you guys. Cool. So now we are in the inspection details page of the website, the web platform, spectora.com. I always like to mention that you should be using a modern web browser or a modern software. So Chrome, Safari, Edge, or Firefox. We are not compatible with Internet Explorer. Feel free to jump on the tech support chat bubble and I can talk to you a little bit more about that if you need. But most people are using Chrome and Safari anyway, so that's great. Okay, so we are going to go into this residential reports right here that I have populated from the InterNACHI template. We have many other templates available in the template center, and if you guys would like later, I can show you where that is. We are going to click this edit button to pull it up. Now in Spectora, we organize our inspection data into 3 different groupings. See, told you about the slowdown. Okay, so we have our sections, our items, and then our comments. And I'm going to click into the roof section. So within my section of roofing, I can have multiple different items. In this case, I'm going to go to skylights, chimneys, and other roof penetrations and open it up. Now you'll see that I have 3 different types of comments. I've got informational comments. Those are the good or the neutral ones. The general information. You've got orange limitations that are limitations to your inspection. So it's going to be stuff like, I could not inspect the roof because there was snow on it. Or I could not inspect the foundation due to it being a furnished basement, or a finished basement, excuse me. Stuff like that. A limitation to your inspection. So then defect, which is your third negative stuff you want to point out to the client and the agent, this third title is editable. The most common titles that I see are defect, observation, finding are the main 3. And it really depends inspector to inspector, state to state. And I've always been surprised about how heated people get when it comes to that third defect label. Whatever works for you. In this case, I'm calling it a defect. So one of my user questions was how to add just a general photo, not one within a defect. Let me find a good one here. So we're gonna go in material. So now I am in roof, flashings, and within the flashings, I am now going to start inspecting this item. So I'm gonna hit the inspected button. These item rating buttons, by the way, I can talk about them later. You can customize, you can have them, you can show them in the report. They're pretty customizable. So let me know in the chat bubble if you'd like me to cover that later. Okay, so I'm showing you how to put a general photo into an informational comment. We've got material. In this case, it's going to be something like aluminum. I've now selected my aluminum material for my flashing. I would like to add a comment in here to display in the report. I'm going to hit the 3 little dots over here that's going to say show more. And now this comment card has been expanded. Now we have 2 different ways to add a photo to this report. You can either open up a separate file folder, such as this, or you can use this photo video upload button. Now, if you have a photo on your desktop in a file folder, this is also great for stuff like, I guess I'm 2 birds with one stoning this one. If you use a regular camera instead of our Apple and Android app, or something like a drone or something like that where it has an SD card and you need to load those pictures onto your computer to get them into the report, you're going to have this file folder containing all the photos. To easily get them from your file folder into the reports, you can select multiple of them and then click and drag anywhere within the comment. Doesn't have to be down in this white little area. And when you do that, it's going to take a second. They're going to load directly into the comments. Say this could be my aluminum flashing. Doesn't look like it in the picture, but that's my example. If I wanted to just do a solo upload of a photo or video, I could click this plus photo video button, and it will open up an uploader with all the file folders on there, and I could click and could say, oh, I want this one, and then I would hit the open button and it would load in. So those are the 2 ways on the web that you can add a photo, and you can do it within an informational comment, a limitation, or a defect. You're not just limited to your defects. Now, you're also not limited to the mobile device for using your photo annotator. To access the photo annotator on the web, all I would need to do was click on this photo. And since I'm in the report editor, it's going to pull up my photo annotator. To create an arrow, a line, a circle, or a square, I'm going to point and click and drag. So I'm going to point out my flashings here by clicking and dragging towards where I want this arrow to go. Now, this actually came up in a training this morning. A lot of inspectors thought that they were just stuck with this arrow placement, or thought that they had to delete it and then remake an arrow if it was in an incorrect area. Or on the mobile app did something like your finger covered up what you actually wanted to see and it's not quite where you want it. All you would need to do, both on app and on web, and I can show you how to do that, is deselect this add arrow. So now none of my options down here are selected. And now if I hover over and click this arrow, it's a movable item. I could even grab a corner and resize it if I wanted to. I could make it gigantic. I could use this side one and change the angle of it. Again, that's this little offshoot here, controls the angle. And I would be able to move it and say, this is where I want to show off my flashing. Now, the user question that I'm specifically addressing right now is how to add text to photos in order to display, say, what the material you're pointing out is. There are 2 ways that you can do this. Unfortunately, the plugin that we use in our software, both on web and on app, does not have the ability to actually write text onto a photo. Instead, you would use this speech bubble icon and click it to add a caption that will be displayed on the report next to this photo. And I could say material is brown, whatever it is in this one. And then what I'm going to want to do is I can either add a location, so hit this button and add location, and I'm going to say this is in the southwest corner of my house, and save. And then to complete the editing of this caption, I'm going to hit this check mark in the corner. And now my caption for this photo is saved. To save all of my annotations for this photo, I'm going to click this save button down here. So also worth noting that if you don't want any of this and you're like, never mind, I don't want to use these annotations, you can always go up here to the top left and discard changes. So we're gonna hit this save button and it's going to save my annotations for this photo. Material is brown, northwest. Okay, now the way that would look in a report, we're in roof, flashings, and then in informational material. I'm going to go to the preview publish button and open up my web report. Scroll down, and I'm going to use my section over here so that I don't have to scroll through the entire report and hit roof. It's going to jump me to the roof section, and now you'll see that I not only have these photos in here, but I have this caption bubble overlaying this picture. And now I can show that, and it's gonna say material is brown northwest, that caption that we added. This is the answer choice. So I was in the item, the flashings item, excuse me. And then my comment title was material and my answer choice was aluminum. So that's how you would show the caption for the informational comments. All right, I'm going to go back to editing the report. And just to reiterate, I can add photos not only within defects, but informational comments and limitations. These are great for things like I take a picture of every wall of the room that I'm in when I start, or this is just what your roof looks like, that kind of stuff. Now, to kind of round out our photo options, I'm going to show you guys how to set a default photo to pull in to your report whenever you activate a certain comment. So I'm in a report that's in a specific inspection right now. I would want to add a default photo for a template. So let's go to the templates tab. And when we go up here to the templates tab and let it load, we're gonna scroll down a little bit and we're gonna go into that same roof and then flashings area. And this is that material comment that we were in. If I open it up, you'll see that just like in the report area where we covered, I have this white space for pictures to display and I can add a default photo. Now, just like in the reports, if I have a file folder open, which is great if you have like a library of illustrations, you can click and drag into the comments and load it up. You can put it in the text, or you can open this default photo and have the uploader appear, choose file, and select it, and then open. And I can even add a caption for it to display in there. And then I would hit save. Now, every time I activate this comment in the report, I'm in roof, flashings, and I give one of these options or add a new one to my material comment, these photos are going to populate and show up. This is also great for side-by-sides of this is what it should look like, this is what it does look like for defect comments. Fun little feature there. Cool. Next on my list. Actually, I'm gonna break my rule already. Does anyone have any photo-related comments specifically? I don't see that anyone has typed into the group chat yet. So if you have a photo-related question, type it into the chat. Sure. So somebody wants me to show how it would look on the mobile. Cool, I can absolutely do that. All right, bear with me for 1 second to switch over to my phone. So I'm going to switch over. Cool. So what you guys should be looking at now is a screen share of my phone. So we're actively looking at it right now. We at Spectora have an Apple and Android app. It is a report writer. So it's going to be a report that is tied to an individual inspection. In this case, I'm actually in the exact same report that I was showing you guys earlier. So it's 8 a.m. and I click on that title tag right there. And I click into my inspection. And now I'm going to click into my residential report and open it up. We were in roofing and flashings. And now I'm editing on that same area. This is our same material, aluminum, asphalt, copper comment. Just in case somebody can't see. Cool, good. Person who just asked me a question, I will get to it in a second. Just want to make sure in case like I wasn't properly sharing. This stuff is real scary. Okay, so we are in this same material comment. We have, I just tried to scroll up on my laptop instead of using my phone. My brain broke a little bit there. Okay, so we have 2 ways in your app to pull a photo into a particular comment, just like we did on the web editor. We're assigning that photo to display with this comment. The first one is going to be, if you see there's a row of 4 sets of buttons, and one of those is going to be the photo button, this guy. If we click on it, it's going to open up Inception, my device's camera, so I can take pictures around the house. This is our conference room. This is the hundreds of cords I have. Okay, so we are going to take a picture. We are then going to say, yes, I would like to use this photo, and select it. To view the photo we just took, if you see at the top of the title, comment title that says material, I now have a gray square with a number 1. And that means that there is 1 photo within this comment. So I'm actually gonna go over and hit the arrow that's next to that square with the 1 and open up my comments. This is also where you would do stuff like edit the text within the comment on the fly on site. We're gonna scroll down. So now you see that I can either hit that red X and delete it, or I can actually click the photo and it's going to pull up that annotator that I showed you guys on the web. So for this example, I've got arrow selected and I'm going to draw an arrow to this electrical socket. If I would like to move that arrow, to reiterate earlier, I'm going to deselect how the arrow icon at the base is blue. So instead of add arrow, now I'm looking at the image and I'm going to click on the arrow and drag it around and then say, oh, I really wanted to instead show this thing about the roof, not that electrical socket. Now, if I click anywhere else outside of that square, that'll go away. And now the arrow is good. To add a caption, like we did on the web editor, you'll see that on the bottom row, I have a trash can, 2 talk bubbles, and then a check mark. I'm gonna click those 2 chat bubbles. You know what? This is gonna be fun. I'm actually going to, I'm talking about those guys. That's fun. Sorry, little things in life. Okay, so I'm going to click that caption. Now, if I wanted to type something unique, I would type up where it says use buttons or tap here to edit. And clicking that is going to pull up my keyboard and I can enter a custom point of text for the caption, or since most captions that we've noticed inspectors giving are location-based, you could also use your list of location tags, such as Northwest, and add it automatically in there instead of having to type every single one. Then I would hit Save Caption. Now to confirm, just like on the web editor, I'm gonna hit that check mark with the circle with a check mark rather, in the bottom right-hand corner, and that's going to save my changes. And now you'll see that arrow is now saved into the comment of that report. You can either use those 4 buttons on the base of the screen, so plus photo, plus video, and then you'll see the other 2 are gallery based, or if I hit the arrow in the top left to go back, you'll see that you have 2 options here, gallery for photos and gallery for videos. I'm going to click this gallery button and I'm going to open it up. Now, this is my personal phone, so you're gonna see a lot of dog pictures right now. In this case, we're gonna add this cutie patootie. And I can actually select multiple photos in here. We just did a training, so I'll select this guy. I'm gonna hit done at the top, meaning that I've selected all of the photos that I wanted to out of the gallery. And now if I use that same arrow next to the squares that now you'll see says 3, because I just added 2 more, I can open it up and you'll be able to see all 3. This is great for if you have a photo of a house that you would like to use again, such as you already used it in roofing and you want to reiterate it in this comment. Or if you have some stock illustrations that weren't in your template that you wanted to add to this report and they were in your phone's gallery, you could add them there. The third use case is that if you wanted to make things go more quickly throughout your inspection process, instead of adding a photo to every single comment, if you just used your device's camera to take a whole bunch of pictures, you could then use that gallery button to import pictures into the comments as you wished. And then I actually talked about this in my training this morning. A lot of inspectors who use SD card type of cameras, so just like a normal camera or something like a thermal or a drone, I always like to mention, because not many people think that this is a thing, there for like $7 on Amazon, there are actually cords that you can put into your phone and insert your SD card, adapters, that's the word I'm searching for, my brain was going crazy, an adapter to go from your phone to an SD card. And you could do this on site and continue using the app. And what that would do was use the SD card. It'll give you the option to upload the photos to your device's gallery, and then you can pull them in with the gallery button. Like I said, they're like $7 on Amazon. Love them. Other inspectors really like putting those camera SD card photos and plugging it into their laptop and just using the web uploader. Whatever works best for you. Okay. I see that I've caught a couple chats, so I'm going to open this up. Okay. If you take gallery pictures, are they stored on the device or in the report? So actually, what photos you take within the app, if they store on your device, that is up to you. Any picture that you take through the app and is connected to a comment, so like the 3 we just did, is stored with the report and will be sent up to the web, and we will store it for you. If you're just taking CYA pictures that are not connected to a comment, you can do that, but they would be on your device's camera and you would need to keep track of them either in like a cloud-based storage system or just on your device's gallery. So CYA not connected to the actual report physically within a comment, you're going to handle the storage. If the photo is within the comments and within the reports, we will store it for you and put it up on the web. Now, another thing that if you're taking a photo in the app, so just using this photo button, you can choose whether or not you want that to just go into the report, or if you would also like it to go into the report and back up to your device's gallery. And where you would find that is if you're following along with me right now, there is a little arrow in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to use it to go all the way back out to my dashboard. So now I'm on the dashboard as if I just opened the app. There are 3 little bars in the upper left-hand corner, just left of the word dashboard. And if I click those, you're going to open up the device's settings. If I click on settings and scroll down a little bit under photo settings, you'll see that you can choose on each different device to have backup photos to gallery enabled or not enabled. Some inspectors don't want the photos saving to their phone or tablet at all, and others absolutely want them, every single photo they took, including CYAs, and then they'll later store them in like an album on Google Drive, stuff like that. I hope that answers your question. The other comment that we had in here in the chat is the ability to put a comment on the photo as opposed to below the photo in the future. Currently, it's not on the table, simply because the photo plugin that we use, they give us the options for it. So it's not something that we can develop. And since generally our users are pretty happy with that photo plugin, we don't currently have plans to change that photo plugin. If they update it on their side, we'll be able to add it. So I'm not honestly sure about that part, but yeah, all the photo stuff and the annotator are part of a plugin that we don't control. So currently it's not on the table to be able to add text directly onto photos. Additionally, we've heard from some agents and some clients that when you do that, it's harder to read and it covers up other useful information in the photos, which is why we originally went with this photo plugin. Okay, now I see those are the only 2 that I see on there, and I've exhausted my list of photo questions on here. So if you guys do not mind, I'm going to actually, let's start the undelete process while we're still on the app. Okay, so the submitted user question was, if I delete a section, an item, or a comment in a singular report, am I just SOL? Or is there a way to get it back? And the answer is yes. We deliberately installed an undelete feature. So I'm going to use the 3 bars up at the top of the screen to go back out to my menu, and I'm going to hit dashboard. Excuse me, tickle in my throat. Okay, I'm going to click back into my inspection and back into my report. Sections are the easiest way for me to show you it. I will also show you it after the concept is kind of explained in items and comments. So when you're on the app, you can choose to duplicate or delete a section by actually taking your finger and swiping the title of the section to the left. So I'm going to do it in roof, since apparently it's my favorite section in the webinar today. So I'm going to swipe, and you see how I'm swiping? It's going to reveal the duplicate or the delete buttons. In this case, because I'm trying to show you guys the delete feature, I'm going to delete this roof section. And then just to prove my point, I'm going to swipe heating and then do delete. So I've now deleted 2 sections. If you'll notice, at the bottom of the screen, right below the plus section, that would get you an additional section or an optional section if that's built into your template. I now have an undelete section. If I click this undelete section, it's going to give me a list of every section I've deleted, and I can restore it. When this was brought up earlier, and I was helping someone through this process, his question was, if I delete one section and then delete a second, am I just SOL on the first one? Like, is there a time limit on undeletes? And the answer is no, which is why I deliberately showed you guys with 2 sections. I technically deleted the roof first and then heating second, but I could restore either of them at this point. So I'm actually going to restore roof, and then I'll restore heating. And you can do that in any order. So now if I click into roof again and open it up, I can also swipe items to duplicate or delete. If I delete this item, you'll notice that I also now have an undelete items option at the bottom under the plus. Now, here is where things get a little bit tricky. If I click into roof drainage systems and I delete this comment and I confirm I want to delete it, itching my eye, weird. I now don't have that comment. We currently do not have an undelete for individual comments. However, and to prove my point, I'm going to check a couple other options within this item. If I use the arrow at the top left to go back out to my list of sections, I'm going to implement that undelete function to bring back that comment I accidentally deleted. And stick with me, I promise I'm on the right track if you're confused right now. So I deleted a comment, I need to get it back now. If I go ahead and delete the entire item that it was in, then implement my undelete items, and I was in roof drainage systems when I deleted that one, and go back in, the action of undeleting that item brought back every comment within it. And because the changes that I made were saved, I was able to bring back that comment and keep the data I already had in there. The delete or undelete will keep the data that you currently have in the section or the item. So you don't have to start off with a new blank. So you can undelete sections and items. If you delete a comment and want it back, delete the item and then undelete the item, and you'll get all of your comments back. Cool. I'm going to stop the mobile share and show you guys what it looks like on the web. So 1 second to switch back over to my desktop. I'm gonna share that guy and close this. Okay, so I'm going to go back out to my dashboard. Let me pull this guy up. Go back out to my dashboard and click into my inspection for today and open that up. Slowly. And scroll down. And I'm gonna hit edit for this report. Come on, little internet. There we go. For those of you who are just tuning in, my internet goes a little bit slow when it happens to, when I'm screen sharing my video. Okay. Here, we're going to, there we go. There we go. We did it. We did it. Okay. Same concept. This is in my report, and I'm going to go into roof, hit that trash can. The double paper icon, by the way, is duplicate so that you have the same functionality on app and on web. Do I want to delete it? Yep, I sure do. So now, here's the difference, and this is why I wanted to show it on both. You'll see I don't get a second button down here. However, if I hit this plus section, you'll see I now have an undelete sections area. This is where you would go down to optional sections. I would hit undelete, and now I have deleted. If you happen to have multiple optional sections, or deleted sections in here, this deleted a few seconds ago is a great way to see if you say have 2 deleted roof sections, which one's the more recent. So that's just a little fun, handy thing. And I would click undelete sections. And now my roof is restored. And any data that I had in it would also be restored. So I wouldn't be starting with a blank again. So that's my fun, handy dandy undelete. And just the same way, if you could do it with item that way, and then if you delete a comment but want it back, you delete the item and then undelete the item. Cool. Okay, let me know on the chat bubble if you have any questions about that. I think what is next on my list is what do I personally recommend you guys put for placeholders in your report ready email, and also a brief overview of placeholders. Okay, so we are going to go up to the automations tab, and I'm going to click into it. Now, automations is the area where we have the templates that you guys can edit for the automated emails and text messages that go out. Currently, your options are for scheduling and rescheduling. If you add a new agreement or fee to the inspection, pre-inspection emails and text messages, and you can customize those templates for client, client's email, and listing agent, the report ready email, and then you've got post-inspection reminder emails and text messages that can go out for follow-up. This is a great way to ask for reviews. So I'm going to click into the report ready email. This report ready is going to be triggered by us hitting the publish button, either on mobile or on web. What hitting publish does is it triggers the report ready email, and it interacts with the report and said, I'm ready for client view, instead of what the control would say would be like, your report is not ready. Your inspector will let you know when it is. So I'm going to click into this client's email, which is edit template. Okay, so this is a question that I get a decent amount on tech support, so I'm glad someone requested that I chat about it. So this is the template for your report ready email. Currently, it only has the link to the report, which sounds nice, except in the client portal. I'm actually gonna open up a side-by-side if you guys stay patient with me for a second, because it's much easier to explain the difference when you guys have visuals, and that's why we do webinars. So I'm going to click into my inspection, and for every inspection, there is a client portal. So I can either do it by hitting this client view button up here, or client agent view down here. Now, in the client agent portal, this is where they go to sign their agreement, pay you if you have online payments set up, or view their invoice. And the invoice is kind of the key for why this question is getting asked. So in the confirmation email, usually inspectors and companies have the inspection link, which is the link that leads to that client portal. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep talking while not having lag time and letting the computer do its thing. It's a lot to handle. Okay, so this is a pretty decent common template for the confirmation email. It would, these placeholder lines of code will pull from the inspection details information that you enter during scheduling. So it will auto-populate client's name, address, inspection date, inspection time. If you look down here, I've got the inspection link, and that's going to lead to the client portal. This is an important concept because if I go back out and into my report ready email, I didn't have that link. I only had the report link. And obviously make your own decisions about what you would like in your reports ready. But if you only have the report link in here, the client will only get that link. If you would like them to also be able to review their invoice or something like that, or if you attached some attachments in there, and have them easily viewed, I highly recommend putting one of two links in there. You can either put the invoice link and add that in there, put a space between. So now they'll see two different buttons, one for the report and one for the invoice, or just still put that inspection link back in there. Cool. So I highly recommend using the report link in conjunction with the invoice link so that the client or the agent does not have to go back to that confirmation email and search their email box to be able to view their invoice, or has you to resend things, or just use this inspection link and send them back to the client portal. Cool. And just a kind of reminder about how placeholders work. These placeholders exist in our automated emails and in our agreements. There's this list over here are the placeholders that are available to you. They have the cheat names on them. Wherever your cursor is blinking, so you see it's blinking right there. If I click to the end of the thank you and then enter down, so now it's clicking right there, and I wanted to add my inspector name to populate in there, I would click that, and now you see I've inserted this inspector name placeholder in there. And that's usually for multi-inspector companies. It'll auto-populate whatever the inspector assigned to the inspection is. Okay, so for agreements, you go to settings, and then down to inspection agreements, and open that up slowly and into an inspection agreement. And you'll see we have a list of placeholders on the side here. Now, pro tip, you can actually use any of the placeholders that were over in the automation. They just are not very common, and they were causing some confusion being listed in the agreement area. And so these are the most commonly listed placeholders for the agreement. Now, I get a lot of questions about this price versus fees in the agreement. The difference is if you would like the number of the total to display, say your base price is $300, and then you also have a radon inspection on there for $100. If you have the price placeholder in there, it will show up, there is a fee of $400, the total. If you choose to have the fees placeholder in there, it will give the title of the service, the amount, and then title of service amount. So in my example, for this, it would say home inspection, $300, radon inspection, $100. So it's a breakdown of the fees attached to it. So that's the main difference between price and fees, which is usually where I see the confusion. A good little trick to help you remember, since I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you, is actually if you hover over each of these placeholders, you'll get some help code. So this would be the quoted price. And then if I scroll down and go over fees, it'll say the list of fees and services. So you can always hover and get a little refresher course. Okay, does anybody have any questions about using the placeholders, inspection agreements, or automation before I move on? Feel free to jump on the chat, the group chat. That's as much as I got in writing down my advanced notes. Okay. And like I said, people learn at different rates. The YouTube channel actually has an independent video on my new user setup series about agreements and automations that goes through and spells things out again if you'd like a refresher, or jump on the tech support chat bubble and we're always happy to help. Okay. Next user submitted question, thank you user, is going to be the email button. Excuse me, the share button in the emails area. So if I go back out to my dashboard, and then click into my inspection. Look at that guy load up. If I scroll down, any emails or text messages, I turned them off during scheduling for this one. Any emails and text messages that had been sent out for this inspection would be displayed down here. Now, if you changed, say, the client's email or something like that, and you wanted to re-trigger the confirmation email, I would go to me and myself as a client. I would hover over these three dots, open it up, and hit resend confirmation. Now it's actually gonna allow me to edit the template. And so I can go in here and say, oh, no, for this particular clients, I don't want to have, that's the visual of the fees placeholder with the list and the breakdown, by the way. I don't want that in there. I think they'll just argue with me, something like that. So I would scroll down, delete that, edit the template as you like, and then hit send email. And what that's gonna do is send out the email to the clients. Now, say you have a third party that you would like to share the inspection details with, or even share the client portal with. This is great for property management companies, or if you have a mold recommendation or something like that, that you would like to share the inspection details with them. If you go down here in the top of the emails area, see, this is the email we just sent. Actually, it's in the queue, but emails we just sent. And then we go to the share details button. If we click and open it, I can add any custom email I would like in a CC. The CCs are great for adding transaction agents for agents so that both of them get the emails. I can change the subject line. I can change the body of the text in the email. And then I can scroll down and I can send the email. So I can send it off to a property manager, somebody like that. So using that share details button is how you share inspection details with a third party or someone who's just not listed in this area. Currently, we have the possibilities for 2 different clients, 1 client's agent, and 1 listing agent. And I always do like to point out that the report ready email only goes out to the client and the client's agent. We deliberately do not put in the capability of emailing the report directly to the listing agent so that nobody gets in trouble. Cool. If anyone has any questions on emails and automations or third parties, stuff like that, jump on my chat. No, cool. Okay, next user submitted question is setting a sample report and where to find the sample report afterward. So if I view this report, so we're going to be looking at the web report version of it. You'll see in this upper left-hand corner, I'm actually going to pull you down just in case in the recording. You can't, my video face screen is covering up this report tools area. I believe it did in the last one. Okay, so in this report tools up top, if I click it, one of my options is going to be make my sample report. What this is going to do is it's going to anonymize the client, agent, and address of this report while keeping everything else the same. So it's going to anonymize it. It's going to take this 66 South Logan, that's actually the address of our office, and funny enough, that's not what our office looks like. It's an office building. It's Zillow pulled the wrong picture. You will see, make my sample report. Cool. It's going to pull up this link. If I copy it and then close, if I open a new browser window, you'll see that I now have this URL that says the name of my company or your company right here, and then sample report. So it's going to be a URL that looks good for you to share in emails to clients and agents, because that's why you're giving a sample report out. Now, if I open my sample report, and I'll scoot myself back up here, you'll see that my 66 South Logan is now 1234 Main Street, that my inspector information will remain the same, but now instead of Kevin Wagstaff, one of our co-founders, being the agent, you'll see that it's just a generic picture of an agent with agent's name, agency name, so that they can visualize what their face and their information would look like on the report. And then the report follows as is. So it's going to be an anonymized version of whatever you set. Now, a common question is now, if I didn't copy and paste this sample report, URL, where do I find it again? And so we're going to go back in, sorry, wrong browser window, back into my regular account. So we are back here and we see the 66 South Logan. And I'm going to use, I'm going to pull you back down again, the drop-down menu of my name, Johnny Test, and go to my company profile. So it's the one that looks like a briefcase. Click on it. You'll see that I now have the option to go to view public profile. If I click and open it, this is the profile page, and I can scoot you guys back up now. This is the profile page that gets created for every Spectora inspector and company, or I guess company in this case. You'll see it's now Spectora.com, home inspectors, Denver home inspection. One of my options now you'll see is view my sample report. If I click it, it's going to link me back to this Denver home inspections sample report. So going to your company profile, viewing your public profile, and then viewing your sample report is how you would recover that URL if you had misplaced it. But it should just be Spectora, home inspectors, the name of your company, sample report. A little complicated, but we can also help you on the tech support chat bubble. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over to my main page. And my final question that I have prepared is how to do a reinspection. And that's actually a pretty common occurrence, right? And pretty common tech support question. So if I have a report that is done, and it was pointed out to me earlier today, so actually now I have a better answer. You guys are training me up. If you have a home inspection where you have already done the report and you are getting invited back to inspect a defect that you have already called out, making sure I have a defect. I don't think I do have a defect in here. Lack of preparedness. Okay, let's go back to edit the report. An important concept. Sorry, team, for the delay. We're going to, roof is just my favorite today. Go to drainings. And I'm gonna add a couple defects. Cool. So now we've got a couple defects in the report. If I go to preview publish, okay, thank you for your patience. I'm gonna recap because that was confusing and I led you on a wild ride right there. So if you are doing an inspection, you have already called out the defect. It's been given to the homeowner and the agent has recommended a repair and they would like you to come back to inspect that exact same defect and give your opinion on it if it is repaired. What you're going to want to do is actually use the agent tools to use the repair request builder. Fun, fancy. So we've got roof drainage systems, gutter damage, and they're like, I'll fix that one. Just have your guy come back out. If I go to report tools and then repair request builder and open it up, it'll pull all of your defects. So now I could say, I want to give a report just on this defect. And using the comment option, I could say, this defect has been repaired. And then I could create this preview where you now have a listing of this defect has been repaired, and you can send that out. The alternative is if you did a reinspection where the circumstance today was that you were unable to complete the inspection because there was snow on the roof and the homeowner wanted you to come back when there wasn't snow on the roof. You could either edit the first report and just do the incomplete item, or you could schedule a new inspection for the time and the date of the reinspection, and then use the copy function. I'm going to go back to the inspection details. You would use the copy function, 3 dots over here, open it up, open it up and hit copy, and you can actually choose to send a copy of this report over to your new re-inspected inspection. Or you can just copy it here and have 2 versions of the report and rename one re-inspect. So if that was a little bit hard to follow along in, if you're just re-inspecting an already called out comment and defect, I recommend using the repair request builder and just commenting on there. If you are setting up a second scheduled inspection to go back and re-inspect many items, say, or you would like to finish a secondary report, then you can copy the report between inspections. Okay, how to use your question. Let me open this guy up. Okay. On a re-inspection, can you edit the title so it doesn't say repair request and say re-inspection? I do not know that answer. Let's find out together. Okay, so we're in there. We're gonna go to report tools. And close this guy up. And we're gonna go to repair request builder. Now, you can change this document name up here. Perfect, so it could be re-inspect. And now the document name is not gonna be repair request, it's gonna be re-inspect. So look, we learned something together. Perfect. Sometimes it's hard to remember all this stuff. You can also add some header text in here like, I re-inspected on 3/8 from original 3/5 inspection. Perfect. And then you could create it and send it out. Perfect. Love it. Okay. So now that completes my user submitted questions ahead of time. Do you guys have any questions that you guys would like me to cover that you want to type into the chat on any subject? Well, you know, Spectora related. Thinking about it, thinking about it. Feel free to jump into the chat. I'm trying to think. I recently had someone type into the chat bubble asking for a recommendation on the text for the reminder, because buyers were just showing up to the home inspection and following the home inspector around, and apparently this was annoying enough that they wanted to change the pre-inspection reminder text message to deliberately say, let us know if you're going to be on site. So I went to automations, and then I'm going to scroll down and go to pre-inspection and open it up. And you can have up to 2 pre-inspection text messages. If I hit this edit template, what I recommended that they do is change the template of their text message to say something along the lines of, your presence is not necessary at the home inspection. should you wish to attend the home inspection, respond back and let me know what specific time you would like to be there, so I can do a walkthrough and summary of the report. Some inspectors really like having the homeowners walk them around and walk around with them so that they can educate them as they go. Really give that personal connection to it. And other home inspectors want to get it done quickly and efficiently, and then either do a walkthrough at the end or something like that. So up to you. Sorry if that was loud. I just accidentally hit the microphone with my hand. We're going to go to dashboard. Okay. I do not see anything on chat. So, recap. Tech support chat bubble. Jump on here. We're very responsive. We're very proud of it. YouTube channel has all sorts of tutorial videos. You can also type into the chat bubble and we'll give you specific URLs, links to videos. I will post the recording of this probably later this afternoon onto YouTube. Kevin, who unfortunately for personal reasons isn't able to do his half of the marketing today, he is going to host his own 1-hour webinar next week, and we will send out an email with that information, or subscribe to the YouTube channel and you will get an email notification whenever he adds that up on the YouTube area. So if we go to YouTube, it's going to take a second to load. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, it will send you a notification whenever we upload a new video that is public facing. Cool. We've got that. We've got all sorts of videos. That's our features overview. I've posted the other webinars I've done. Ooh, I've got somebody on my chat. Okay, how do you subscribe to the YouTube channel? Great question. All right, I'm gonna pull you guys down so that you can see it. So actually, you go to spectora.com. So let's go to YouTube. I'm gonna have to do an incognito window because I'm logged in as us. Okay, youtube.com/Spectora and open it up. Give it a second. Okay. So now, very slowly, you just hit this red subscribe button. Let me stop that music playing. It's very soothing. You'd hit this red subscribe button, and it would send an email whenever we upload a new video to the email associated with your YouTube account. So if you don't have a YouTube account, you can just sign one up and subscribe on there. Otherwise, we do a pretty good job releasing new YouTube links and videos onto the Spectora user-only Facebook group. So if you guys are not a part of the Facebook group, jump on Spectora user group and I will approve your entry. We do an approval system so that vendors aren't in there, bothering you guys and spamming, that kind of stuff. So we do that. And like I said, you can always jump on the tech support chat bubble and we will give you the links to specific little things. But yeah, and then, before we leave this page, if you click on the playlists option, I mentioned earlier the setup series playlist, which contains a bunch of, whoa, that's my voice. That was, okay. So there's an intro, there's common FAQs, particularly geared to people who are not very comfortable with technology. I slowed things down a lot, created some slides for it. There are also just great basic FAQ questions, like what's the difference between a template and a report, and what can you do on the web that you can't do on the mobile, that kind of stuff. And then I've broken up the rest of the software into littler sections that are easier to understand. I believe I mentioned the automated emails and texts. It's only a 13-minute video talking to you about it, so you're not having to wade through hours of information on there. The other one I do like to point out, if you're itching for some marketing videos, we also do have a marketing playlist where Kevin goes on and talks about 3.5 SEO tips to boost your rankings. good practices for stuff, 3 ways to use Google, goodness, for blogging ideas, stuff like that. So you can check those out. And then, like I said, Kevin is going to do a webinar. We will make sure to advertise to everybody about it so that people can tune in for that. We are very, very sorry that his personal conflict came up. He apologizes, but he's a good guy. We'll forgive him this one time. So perfect. Okay. I think this wraps it up. If no one else feels like typing into the text support chat bubble, the user chat bubble. I am Casey. You will probably get to know me on the tech support. Feel free to jump in and ask me, Alexis, Kevin, Mike, Laura, or even our devs, Tyler and Alejandro, for some advice, help, tips, that kind of stuff. We are very, very happy to help. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to continue doing these webinars. I'll try to continue giving you guys as much notice as possible on them. And so if you have more suggested topics for next time, feel free to email me or jump on the chat bubble. All right. I'm going to let you guys go now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will upload this to the YouTube channel here later this afternoon. All right. Have a lovely weekend, guys. Bye.